So first we're gonna plug 0 in for x, then we're gonna plug 0 in for y. So when I plug 0 in for x, it's gonna be y plus 3 times 0 equals 4. So y plus 0 equals 4, so y is going to be 4. If I plug 0 in for y, which gives me that crappy answer that we had when Pat did it. So if I do this one, I would go over 0 up 4, and I would go over 4/3 and up 0. So it's really not crossing in a pretty point, it's crossing in a kind of ugly point. So for this one, I would probably not do this one because it's not crossing prettily. Yeah, it's not crossing at a whole number. So there are 3 options, which freaks you out because you're like, what do I do?
That's why I get
Tell me what
confused.
to do.
Yeah, that's why.
And they're like, I don't care what you do, just do it.
So anytime you see graph the equation.
You can do it however you want to do it.
However, okay.
Yeah, just do it. Yes.
What was the word?
Your graphic calculator? Let me find another one for them to do and then I'll come back there. So that was 44. Okay. This one is 46.
And then I think, okay, I'm going through all this work, trying to figure out which way to do it. And why do I need to know?
To get out of this class,
I know, but
graph y equals 8 and tell me what kind of slope it has. Graph y equals 8 and tell me what kind of slope it has. Let's see what you got going on, boo. All done.
it has the, I got the card, just going to store.
So what kind of slope is that?
That's 25.
If I'm walking on this, what kind of slope?
It's great. Well, I'm trying to tell you the name of it.
I'm not going
You're
uphill,
going down.
Right.
Normal. You're just going normal.
so it's not up.
It's 0.
There you go.
Yeah, 0, that's what I did.
0.
And then you can use any number.
So for this one, I'm not dating anybody. I'm just worried about me. So in my U column, in my Y column, I'm going to put all 8s. 8, 8, 8. In the other column, I can put anything I want to. So I come over here, I go over 0, up 8. Over 1, up 8. Over 2, up 8. So here is my line. My car is going on a flat road. There's no hills. So my slope is going to be 0. I'm flat. There's no incline. So when I come over here, I go to my line. I go to 8, over 1, up 8. I hit save and check. And I say that my slope is 0. The number's 0. Are we feeling better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Here's another one. This is number 48.
What was that number that we just did?
We just did 46. This is 48. 48. points, which means I don't care what you do. Graph by plotting points. I don't care. That's my daughter's favorite text to me. IDK. IDC. IDC. This is I don't know. That's her other favorite one. IDC. I don't care. I don't know. Whatever, Mama.
Did you put simple interest items they have on there, or the interest on there?
The next chapter?
No, not this one.
We're gonna go over it. We're gonna talk about what all the ones on the test are so we can see. Even though I've been doing a lot of graphing, there's not gonna be a lot on there.
Interest.
Yes. Like for the intercepts. Hartsville, cut your mic off for just a second.
It was on the hallway.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out
Okay.
where to put it.
Okay.
Like the zero can't be on the top.
Still green. Oh,
If it's on the top, it's on the
If you have, so like if you're doing 0 over a number versus a number over 0?
Yeah.
Okay, that's when you're finding the slope. So if you go to your calculator and you do that first one, if you do 0 over 7, that's gonna give you 0. But if you do 7 over 0, that one's gonna give you the undefined.
The zero could be on top of it.
Right, so this one gives you an answer of 0, this one's gonna give you an answer of undefined. And the way that I remember it is if 0 is under the line, it's undefined. So 0 cannot be on the bottom. That's the one that gives you the undefined. Did that help you?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
X is 1, right?
Correct. So we have y equals x minus 2. Okay, y'all tell me what y'all wanna do.
The X is
Huh? Okay,
So
give
we
your
could
question.
have used the zeros on this one, or we could have started with -2 and then went 1. and
We
then-
could have started with -2 and done the rise over run.
Right.
We could have done any points, or we could have done the double zeros.
So it would have been 1 over 1 for x, right?
Correct.
Right. Which one seems easiest?
Okay, so what I'm hearing as your option number 1 is to do the y equals mx plus b. Okay, which means we need to find the, not that button, we need to find the b, which in this case, what is my b?
-2.
-2. Ramp, ramp. So -2 is my b. Now, what is my slope for this problem?
It's 1.
My slope is gonna be 1, because it's the number in front of the x. So my slope is gonna be 1 over 1, which means I'm gonna rise up 1 and run which way?
To the right.
to the right.
To the right. So from that point, I'm gonna go up 1, right 1. There's my line. So that could be option number 1.
Can we do the one with the X and the Y?
Okay? We also could do option number 2, y equals x minus 2. We could do the pick any points option. So give me any 2 numbers, and I don't care whether they go in the x spot or the y spot. Doesn't matter, they can both go in x, they can both go in y, or they can go in either one. What you wanna do, Charity?
0,
In which spot?
X,
And give you another number?
1,
In the,
Y.
okay? So if I put 0 in the x, that's gonna give me a -2. If I put 1 in the y, that's gonna give me a +3. So over 0, down 2, over 3, up 1, there's my line. Now, option 3 is to do the x and y intercepts, which means to do the double zeros. So if I have y equals x minus 2, I'm going to put 0 in for x. So what would y be?
-2.
-2, thank you. And if I put 0 in for y, what would x be?
2 plus 2.
A +2. So over 0, down 2, +2 over up 2. So if you notice in all three of these, there's my line, and there's my line. They're all three the same line. They're all three on top of each other. It was just 3 different ways of getting that line. So when I say graph it, I don't care how you graph it. Just plot some points. You have the option of doing whatever you want to do, which freaks y'all out because I'm not telling you what to do. And then you get ticked off because when I tell you what to do, you don't know what to do.
Right.
So no matter what, you're screwed. All right, here's another one. This is going backwards. This is number 50. Hold on, I don't think I grabbed what I wanted to grab. All right, let me grab this. Let me make it bigger and grab it. All right, y'all are getting really good at, I think, being able to do this. We're about to find out. Oh, let's see. We're doing the equation based on the graph. So, here is the graph, and I want an equation based on that graph. So I want you to do y equals blah. Y equals blah. Think mx plus b.
Yes, plus. Because they got, yeah. That's 3. -2. Oh, yes. Because of 3 over 4, yeah, because this 3 right here. So that's 5.
So what Deidre is finding quote unquote easy, we're now going backwards.
Right, so I'm trying to figure out which is the first number.
Okay.
That one.
So what is the b?
5.
So do we all agree that the b is +5?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that part is going to be +5.
Right.
We all good there?
Yeah.
And if it was down, it would be like a negative whatever, minus whatever. Okay, and do we all agree that we don't touch the x and we don't touch the y equals?
Yeah.
Now, this part is going to be my rise and my run. So from this point, I got to figure out how much I rise and how much I run. So it's up to you as to whether you want to go to this person's house or whether you want to go to this person's house, because the rise and the run is going to be the same thing. So are we going to go down or are we going to go up? We're going to end up doing both, but I want to know, where do you want to go visit first? Up, okay? So if we talk about rising, 3 up. So tell me what that is.
The top number, 3.
It's a 3, but what kind of 3? If you're going 3 up,
Positive.
positive. And then if I go 1, 2, 3, 4 that way, negative, which would be a positive or negative 3/4. A negative 3/4. You with me? Yay?
Yeah.
Now, if I am visiting from here to his house, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 down. Negative 3, because we're going down in church, so that's a negative person. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4 that way, that's a positive 4, which is still gonna give me what kind of slope? A negative 3/4. You with me? So my equation is going to be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. So they're just showing you, no matter whether you start at the 5 and rise and run, or whether you start at the 5 and rise and run, you're still going to get the same thing.
So what number that is?
That is number,
50.
oops, I didn't write it, number
50.
50.
So why did you try to trick us by making it where you had to go either way? Why didn't you just have
'Cause
it
it's my
plotted where it
job.
was one way?
That's what I do. Don't you know that yet? That's right, I major in trigonometry. All right, let's see if there's any more in these last few. Oops, wrong button. All right, that was number 50. And look, you can't really tell what the 3 things are here. So I had to go to magnify it to tell easier what they were here. All right, let me see if there's any more of the algebra-y ones. I mean, of the graphing ones. Y'all know how to do these by now. I'm not doing another one of those.
No, because you don't need to get clean up.
Let me see if there's another one. Okay, this is like the one we just did. Let me get a bigger. This one is write an equation based on the line. Hey, Deidre, I only gave you one house to visit. We
Okay.
only have one house. This is number 72.
Okay.
All right, this is number 72. Write an equation. All right, don't say anything out loud yet. Write an equation for the line. Write an equation for the line. Are y'all ready for me?
Yes.
It's 4. It's 4. Then you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, I was close. I was one number off. I was one number off.
You're going to the right, so that is a positive 5, and you're going up, so that is a positive 4. And a positive over a positive is a positive. So it is y equals 4/5 x plus 4.
Oh, I counted the wrong direction.
See, I was like, I
I
had
was
time
going
on
that
that
way.
and having an argument.
You're leaving from the intercept and going to the other house.
Okay.
So you always start at the intercept.
Right, and I did do that, but I was thinking, okay, see right there, and here's the 4. I was
So
counting
you
this
started
way
at
and
4.
going up.
You got to rise first.
Right, so rise and then
Rise
go
in
over.
church and then run home.
That's what I
Right.
was doing too, going straight across.
Yeah,
I forgot
so you
to
were
ride.
running,
I was running before I run.
right, so your top number is your rise.
Right,
So
okay.
your top number is your up and down number. Your bottom number is your run number.
Well, at least I had that trouble right.
Got it.
Got it?
You did not know how to do it.
All right, let me see if there's anything else in these last couple of problems.
I'm doing something now, it's cool.
That's good.
When I get ready to do my graphic, now I know how to do it.
That's good. All right, so we went over every single graphing problem. And we didn't use the graphing calculator.
We sure did.
So if I bring up, for just a second, if I bring up the chapter 6 review sheet to actually look at what's going to be on the test, especially if we look at what's going to be on the test in 6-7, which is the one that's giving y'all some heartburn.
Which one, 6, 7?
6-7 is the graphing.
See, I need to go all the way back up to the other stuff.
Yeah. And you do need to go over everything.
That's hard.
So if I go to, let me go to a new page for just a second. If I go to, number 1, your test is 25 questions, which means each question is 4 points apiece. Okay? So, and it's not going to be number 18 on your test, but number 18 on the test, I'm going to give you a point like 2, -3, and I'm going to tell you to graph it. Y'all with me? Are we good with that one? We cool? Number 19, I'm going to give you a problem like 2x plus 3y equals 7. And I'm going to give you several ordered pairs, like 1, 2, 0, 3, 1/2, I don't know. I'm just making something up. And I'm going to say which points are solutions. So you have an equation and you have ordered pairs, and I'm saying which are solutions. I'm not going to work every one out, but this is your x, this is your y. This is your x, this is your y. This is your x, this is your y. So it's like a part A, part B, part C kind of question. So you're going to plug 1 in for x, so you're going to do 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2 equals 7. You're going to work this part out and say, does it equal 7? Yes or no? Then you're going to do the same thing here. 2 times 0 plus 3 times 3. Does this equal 7? Yes or no? Remember those? Okay. Then, number 20 and 21. Graph the equation by plotting points. So you're going to have 2 questions, 20 and 21, where I give you, and I say, plot the graph. I don't care how you do it. So you can do option 1, 2, or 3. I don't care how it gets done. So you have 2 of those problems. You can either do the double zeros, you can pick the numbers of your choice, or you can put it in y equals mx plus b, find the b, and do your rising and your running. So you got two of those. You have two that it says find the slope of a line given 2 points. So we haven't done any of those, but 22 and 23, it says find slope of a line given 2 points. So if I give you 3 and -4, and I give you -5 and -6, and I tell you to find the slope, do we remember the equation to find the slope?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, what is it?
Y2.
Slope equals
Y2.
y2 minus
Y1.
y1 over x2 minus x1. And if you don't remember that, it is on your formula sheet. Now, this is your x and your y, and this is your x and your y. Remember, those are in alphabetical order. This is your x from the first point, this is your y from the first point. This is your x from the second point, this is your y from the second point. And you're just going to plug them in. So, we are plugging in y2 and y1, x2 and x1. So your y2 is -6, your y1 is -4, your x2 is -5, your x1 is 3. You work out the top and you work out the bottom. So on the top, it is -6. It is -6 subtract -4. On your bottom, it is -5 subtract 3. You take your top answer and you divide it by your bottom answer. And then you turn it into a fraction. So your top answer was -2. My top answer is -2. My bottom answer is -8. So my slope is going to be 1/4. You're going to have 2 of those. Yay?
Yeah.
And what if your answer, and Ayana and I were talking about this, what if your slope, you worked it out and it came out to be 0/7? What would your slope be? 0. What if you worked it out and your slope became -3/0? What would your slope be? Undefined. Okay? So you have 2 of those. Then you have one that says graph the equation using the slope and intercept. That's the one that's Deidre's favorite. So you're going to have one where I give you something like this, and it's going to say write the equation given the graph. And so like you would say y equals, I don't know what that one is, but it's going to be a +3, and let's say we went up 2 and we went over 3, so it's going to be 2/3 x plus 3. Yay? And then you're going to have one that says determine, hold on, that was number 25, determine the equation given a graph. Number 24 was graph the equation using the slope intercept. Okay, so this was number 25. And then number 24 is I will say something like graph y plus -2/3 x equals -1 using slope intercept. So I'm not saying do whatever you want to. I'm saying you have to use slope intercept. So that is screaming y equals mx plus b. So what do I have to do first? Get the y by itself. -2/3 x equals -1. So what do I need to do to both sides? Oops, that was...
Cross, add both sides.
So we need to add 2/3 x to both sides. Right. So that's gonna be y equals 2/3 x minus 1. And because they specifically said slope intercept, that means we first have to find the intercept, and then we second have to do our rising and running off of that.